Good evening, I'm Justin Case. We are still working to learn more details about a fatal motorcycle crash in Floyd County. It all happened around 4 this afternoon on Kentucky 122 in the Printer community. Kentucky State Police tell us the driver of the motorcycle lost control and crossed into the oncoming lane of traffic. Troopers are still notifying the victim's family. We first told you yesterday about one student in Letcher County who had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance because another student allegedly brought meth to school. Now one person is behind bars. Robert Haston is facing a first-degree charge for trafficking of a controlled substance. Authorities believe he was purposefully trying to get meth into the middle school. The students' names are not being released. Authorities say a reward is now being offered for information about a missing person. The Buchanan County Sheriff's Office is trying to find Lonnie Meadows, who was last seen earlier this month leaving his home in the Jewel Valley area of the county. Meadows is described as 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, and has gray hair and green eyes. The Sheriff's Office says there is now a $500 reward for information.
Well, we have certainly had quite the hot and humid afternoon, but now we are looking at those conditions starting to die down. You can see here on the University of Virginia camera over in Wise, a partly cloudy sky for them over in Virginia and a beautiful sunset, beautiful end to the day. However, that heat and humidity did spark off some storms for some of us, but we are starting to calm down. Those storms losing their steam, turning into just some showers, but most of us here in Eastern Kentucky, we are dry heading into your overnight hours. Check out those temperatures though around the region. You can see definitely a lot cooler to the north and northeast where they did see a couple of those thunderstorms, a couple of warnings as well. But check it out, Jackson still at 75 at 11 p.m. on this Friday night. Into the Cumberland Valley, we're looking at those low to mid 60s, so it's still pretty muggy and pretty warm out there if you have to step outside. Now here are your Twitter topics looking ahead for the next couple of days. Into your weekend, we are looking at hot and humid conditions and a few rain chances that come with that heat and humidity, just that typical summer-like pattern. But will we see any relief? I will tell you that in my full forecast in just a little bit, Justin.
Kelly, thank you. It has certainly been an emotional week here in the mountains and, of course, in Magoffin County. This week, so many pulled together to rally around little Kenneth Howard. It took a lot to find him in these eastern Kentucky hills. He is safe again with his family and is expected to make a full recovery.
I was just thinking what he was going through, and I was just trying to help.
And the search for Kenneth Howard was much more complex than you might think. It wasn't just a group of people out walking through the densely wooded areas shouting the young toddler's name. Today, we are learning more about how search team leaders organized their efforts and how they actually used previous missing persons cases to find Kenneth before it was too late.
This is his home right here.
And then where was he found again?
He was found right here.
That is a little more than 3/10 of a mile away. But before search crews knew where to begin looking, they checked this book, which looks at the psychology of the missing person based on many factors, including their age.
Children that are, from newborns to 3 years of age, 50% of those are typically found within 2/10 of a mile from the last known point.
The book classifies toddlers like Kenneth as wanderers. That means they likely do not travel in straight lines.
They may zigzag, they may be distracted by, animals. They may see a squirrel, playing on the ground. They'll go that way and check that out. They may see, a bird in a tree and go that way. They're really drawn to creeks or water just because of the sound and the movement.
In addition to establishing the search radius, these lines show many of the paths search crews and canines took over the 66 hours Kenneth was missing.
Some teams had GPSs on them, and they bring them back, and we upload them up onto our computer.
Hounds like the ones from Rough Terrain Rescue use GPS collars. That makes it easier to see where the dogs pick up scents. But what's not easy is following those paths where they've shown interest.
Adults were slipping, falling. The ATVs and the side-by-sides had to have chains, and some of them still couldn't make it up. That's the path that he chose to go.
Coordinators divide the search radius into zones where each team can focus all of their energy on one specific area.
Some come back wet, muddy, ticked, cut. It was a valiant effort.
Search leaders say the one thing that can kill momentum of any search is a negative attitude. The information collected from search and rescue missions like this one is then reported to state and then to national databases. The information then helps future search missions that could be similar to the case involving Kenneth Howard. Multiple gubernatorial candidates were campaigning in western Kentucky today. House Minority Floor Leader Rocky Adkins made a stop in Bowling Green. Adkins was at Teresa's restaurant to mingle and eat breakfast, then made his way to Fifth Street Diner. Adkins talked about his campaign, saying in recent weeks he has felt it picking up momentum. His hope is to create a strong economy for rural Kentucky through aerospace manufacturing. And Attorney General Andy Beshear wasn't far away. He made a stop at a local coffee shop. He wants to bring affordable health care to the state, fix the state's pension system, and tackle the drug epidemic. Beshear says the state needs a governor who is not afraid to stand up for Kentuckians.
Well, I think that what sets me apart from my opponents is talk versus action. Everybody will talk about health care, but I'm actually fighting for it in 3 national lawsuits, trying to prevent the government from tearing away coverage for pre-existing conditions. I'm the only candidate in a Democratic primary that has a health care plan out there.
Beshear says he has a 4-part plan to help the pension system that includes expanded gaming and medical marijuana. Beshear faces Adkins, former state auditor Adam Edelin, and Jeff Young in Tuesday's election. The 5th annual Breathitt County Trail Ride kicked off today. Hundreds of people saddled up to enjoy the ride, hosted by the Breathitt County Horsemen's Association. Officials with BCHA say this has been the biggest turnout they've had so far, and they are glad to find ways to help boost the local economy.
It really supports our county. It brings money into our county, helps our businesses. All these people's going to stop down here and get gas or ice or food, groceries. It's really a good thing for Breathitt County.
The trail ride takes place at the South Fork Elk View and will continue until Sunday afternoon. How about this story? In Wise County, Virginia, police came across an odd situation. One deputy found himself chasing down an unusual target. He found himself chasing a spotted gray potbelly pig. This cute little pig is now safe with its owner, but not before Carlson posed with it for a picture. And Gatlinburg is now home to yet another attraction. The grand opening of the Sky Bridge attraction, the longest pedestrian suspension bridge in North America, happened today. The bridge measures 680 feet long with glass floor panels at its highest point. The bridge will also feature an observation area, snack shop, bar, and gift shop. Coming up at 11, more finger pointing between the U.S. and Iran. We'll head to the White House with who the president blames for causing the new tension. But first, several tornadoes hit the heartland today.
It was a hot and humid day today, and it was just a preview of what we will see this weekend. I'll break down your full weekend forecast coming up.